to get as much. Yes, we're going to start. The diving deep is now commencing. What was the most challenging part of your entrepreneurial journey to date?
As an entrepreneur, you could be an entrepreneur selling your time, working by yourself, or building a business, right? Yeah. Where I get more let down is by people. Because I have faith in people. I hire someone, they make a bunch of promises, and then they just don't deliver on what they promise. That people hurt me more than anybody else, because I can have a plan, and if this goes wrong, we can do this, we can do that. But I can never plan somebody not turning up on time for work, not delivering on what they promised, not making a number of calls they said they would. And you know what happens? Part of the way I run a company is that I get people to write down their goals. We have a vision board. And what hurts me is that, let's say, for instance, if you're a father of 3 kids, your vision board is there that you're going to give the best schooling for your children, you're going to give this, you're going to give that, and they don't put the effort in. And it hurts me because they're going to hurt their children. Okay, maybe he wants to ruin his life. What about his kids? They deserve better. So part of entrepreneurship is people. Yeah. Unfortunately, most people take the easy route, but by nature, we're lazy. So they take the lazy route. You know, and that hurts me most, even today.
And how are you handling it? The fact that people will always disappoint you.
Well, I get my son to recruit now.
Okay.
I just like,
hand over.
Forget it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So what happened was I've actually put layers of walls between me and the employees. I used to do daily motivational. I just do maybe every 3 months now. I don't meet the staff. I don't know most of my staff's names anymore. And that's good because it's protecting my heart. Yeah, my heart couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take people letting me down. And then the only time I let somebody in,
it happens again.
I'll give you an example. Somebody approached me to run my seminars. I packed the room. Everybody loves it. But I'm sure you know, organizing an event, I'm not an event organizer. Yeah. So he'd been following me for a couple of years, and he phoned me up and said, Dariush, I want to be your partner. No, I want to work for you. I said, I don't want any more employees. No, I'll run your events. I'll sell you tickets. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do that. I said, you have to have skin in the game. So you're going to start with me. I'll give you 30% of the business. Come and run it. But here's the thing. Don't quit. If you quit just before the event, I'm going to be left holding the baby. Yeah, it's my brand. Worked for me for 3 months. Didn't sell anything. Couldn't do anything. Ruined loads of leads. I spent 1 hour to 2 hours a day, just recently, motivating him every single day. After 3 months, comes and says, hey, Dariush, I can't live anymore. I need a salary. So, but it's not what we agreed. He said, no, I need a salary. Otherwise, what I'm going to say to my wife, my kids? I said, but you should have thought about this, right? You should have made the calls. You should have closed deals. You did this. And then I said, how much do you want? He goes, I want X amount. I said, right. I wrote him a check on the spot, and he took it. I said, now you're an employee. You're fired. He said, can I wait till 6? I'm embarrassed. So you should have been embarrassed for 3 months sitting here doing nothing, sucking up the oxygen. Yeah. So I said, now I paid you and I didn't negotiate. Here's your money. Get the hell out of my office. And then guess what happened? I had to spend 4 weeks selling my soul. We got 150 people in the room. We made some money, but it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
And then you get, I say it wasn't worth it, and you get one person come and say, you changed my life. And you think, that's why it was worth it. But business-wise, it wasn't worth it. And why? This guy wasn't serious enough about his life, and he just took me on this journey, wasted about 5 months of my life.
Yeah. So now you have that vetting system where someone else does it, and there's a distance between you and them. Yeah. So you are somehow buffering that ability for them to get that close to you.
Farijan, because I can now, I can afford it. But before, there was only me and my son working. There was no filter or buffer.
Yeah.
So you just have to take it as it is. So.
This is part of the journey. At the end of the day, you realize what's important to you, and you realize that you trust people, and you put your heart on the line, and you're thinking they're being honorable with the same. And when they let you down, after a few letdowns, you do have to protect your own self. And you then show up differently. So why do you need to change who you are to mitigate other people's behaviors? Put the mechanism in place, and perfect, you found the solution.
You're absolutely, and the thing is, right, you and I are very similar because we're very passionate, right? And imagine somebody's walking along and suddenly bumps into you or me, and we're like, whoa.
And
they go, and they're like, oh, I like this energy, right?
I know,
they come along, and after about a week, they think, hang on.
I can't
hack it because it's too much. It's a big frigging decision. You don't wake up in the morning thinking, I'm happy. Yeah. It's a decision you make, correct. Right? You have backache, you have aches and pains and headaches and tiredness or whatever. maybe the clouds in the sky or whatever it is. You have every reason not to be happy, but it's a decision you make.
Correct.
Right? Those people want to ride on your decision.
Yep.
And after a while, and you don't want them, like hooked on you everywhere you go, shadowing you. True?
Yeah.
And you think as soon as you give them a little bit of space, they start
They
resenting
start
you.
resenting. Yeah, but it's a pattern, which is unfortunate. But at least you're wise enough to see it, and you put the mechanisms in place to
Here's the
change
thing,
it.
you and I are never going to change, right? So buffer it.
I mean,
Just
there are
protect your
elements
heart.
that we will change, but that element that we love about ourselves, that passion that we bring to the table, I don't want to change that, and I won't
Exactly.
change it. I won't let
Exactly.
anyone change me for the disappointments that they've brought into. I won't do that.
And also, you still love people. You still believe in people, no matter how many times they let you down.
Correct.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I still love human beings. Just don't get too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very mature way of doing it, that you don't want to change that aspect of you because you love that part of you, but you do something to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a very mature way of dealing with it.
100%.
So thank you. I resonate with that a lot because we're on the same page when it comes to that element. What would you say has helped you to see failure as a way to move forward in your business?
Okay. Great question. When I see people, the way they see failure, guess what happens? The same reason they give to every failure. So I'll give you an example. If I go out to the marketplace to sell a product, and before I go into battle,
Yeah.
okay, I think this product's really expensive. Every time I get rejection, what am I going to say? Because it's too expensive,
Yeah.
right? So I never go into anything, and I'm very aware. I don't label it before I go. So I'm very open, okay? People see failure just the way they want to see it. Am I making sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So I just go in total optimism. And I think the bigger the failure I have and the more I overcome it, the more money I earn. Because if you're fixing small problems, you're never going to get rich.
Yeah.
The bigger the problem you fix, the richer you get.
So your
So
way
I
is
can't wait. I wake up in the morning hoping for problems, hoping for failures, because everybody else will quit.
okay.
You see, so my mentality is bring it on. So I have this discussion with my son, and he goes, "Oh, Dad, I had a bad day today. I had these problems." I said, "That's why you're the CEO. That's why you're earning 10 times more money than anybody else, because the problems land on your lap.
Yeah.
If it land on somebody else, they'll be earning more money than you.
Yeah.
So welcome them."
So you welcome failure as a way to, create abundance and just to
Absolutely, because
make
it's
a
part
bigger-
of the business. It's part of being an entrepreneur. But here's the thing: if the failure affects the quality of your life, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur, right? Or you're taking too many risks or bigger risks, right? So, for instance, some people are willing to be an entrepreneur, but they're not willing to have less than 6 months' income in the bank account. The moment it goes to 5 months,
They start panicking.
don't be an entrepreneur, because you never know what's going to come. I'm actually at my best when the chips are down. I hate being comfortable.
See, there are different schools of thinking, and that for me, I'm not that. I don't thrive on having that challenge aspect of things. I know that when I was taking that leap from full-time employment, which I knew I'm not built for, I knew it. I'm just not this clock in, clock out kind. I was resisting it, but I was like, let me see if it works and I can be an employee. I wasn't. But to do that, I made sure that I had enough finances for me to take even a year where none of the things that I started worked, because I don't work well under pressure in that mechanism. Whereas I know tons of people with your mindset that when it starts to get that pressure starts to build, they step up.
Yeah.
And they are the best that they have ever been.
I
This is
spend
just the way
every
they are.
penny I earn every month.
Yeah.
And I don't have to work for the rest of my life. Thank God, right? And I spend every single penny every single month because I'm working at my best when the chips are down. And that's what gladiators do. Your biggest enemy is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
There's no growth in comfort.
I think there is a beauty in that if you are okay with getting out of your comfort zone, you will learn something. But I don't subscribe to this concept that you have to get out of your comfort zone for you to be better in your own self or whatever. That's just, again, pushing yourself to do something maybe you're not ready for.
It's the extent of uncomfortableness as well. So, for instance, I'll give you somebody in sales makes 10 calls a day, outbound sales, and they have to make 12. They have to push themselves, but it's not going to break them.
Yeah.
Yes. Or you go to the gym, you do 10 reps. To get growth, you need to do 12. That's why I have a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So there's extent of uncomfortableness, right? As long as it doesn't affect the quality of your life,
Yes.
right? So at the same time, we don't spend enough time celebrating our wins either.
That's
So
very true.
we need to celebrate, then move on.
Yeah.
Celebrate and move on. Too many people celebrate and just relax.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's the same as if you spend too much time celebrating or you spend too much time wallowing in the disappointment or the failure of it, you're not actually progressing. So as soon as you hit that big win, celebrate and move on, like you said. But the same should be applied. If you have that failure, you can sit there and pick it all out and analyze it, but then you need to pick yourself up and move on.
100%.
Same concept should be applied to both.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your the arena business model that you've got and what that is all about. Tell me what is everything to do with arena?
Well, I'm privileged and honored to have over, I think about 1.1 million followers on social media now. And it just started as just an accident 7-8 years ago. Somebody said, would you speak on stage? I did. And there were more people after I spoke than when I started. And they were all jumping up and down, crying, laughing. And somebody opened up a Facebook page and I got 500,000 followers there. And then COVID came and I opened up an Instagram page. Now I have 650,000 followers on Instagram, and I thought, hang on a second, what resonates with people? And they send the message to me on a daily basis is that your story reminds me of my life.
Yeah.
It resonates in my life. And I thought, what about my life? Maybe I'm not particularly the smartest, the best looking, the tallest, strong, nothing. I'm Mr. Average in a room, right? But what was common that people used to say to me, I love your energy. Wherever I went, they said, thank you for being here. I said, who are you? Because we've been here a week on this course. You were sitting in front of me, I could feel your energy. That was very, very common in what they said. So I thought maybe this gift that God's given me is my energy, right? So I'm not particularly smart, but I have some kind of a track record. I've kept a track record of all my failures or my lessons in life, right? So I'll share it. Now, what was quite common and what I realized is that the moment you open up a bank account, the bank manager will tell you, welcome, did you know that 85% of businesses go bust in the first year? Right? And I'm thinking, imagine you're a gladiator and they give you your sword and your shield and go, good luck, 85% of you are going to die. Right?
Great way to start.
And I'm like, hang on a second. As human beings go, we still are gladiators, We're chained to our upbringing and we need to set ourselves free, okay? The difference was 2,000 years ago, if you lost the battle, you die, okay? Today, you're expected to fail every single day. Why? Because they're conditioning you to get used to failing, right? So I thought the only reason people are failing because they're not rehearsing, they're not fact-finding, they're not practicing, they're not thinking, they're not thinking about the maneuvers, the offense, defense, strategy, nothing. They don't know anything about their opponent before they go into battle, right? And then which life would you rather have? I'd rather have a gladiator's life than the modern day gladiator who's getting, I was going to be rude, slaughtered. No, it's going to be very rude. He's going to get slaughtered every day, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, what if I actually help people like me who never had a father or a mother figure, who never had any education, who could have an accelerator course of succeeding than I did. And
you gave them a chance. That's ultimately what you gave them a chance at them finding their success.
I've had 2 heart attacks, lost hundreds of millions of dollars, $100 million, right? Only. And learn from my mistakes. I learned from 20 years of hardship. And I can save you all that. Why do you want to experience it yourself?
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've created loads. Another thing I found out is that people go on courses, okay? And the course doesn't actually teach you much, but it gets you motivated. You come back, 3 days later, your motivation goes because life takes over, right? And I thought, why is that? Why is it people are course junkies going to the same things over and over again? It's because they can't be a Tony Robbins. They can't be a Stephen Covey they can't. Right, because taking Tony Robbins 60-odd years to be like he is, and he's 6'7". He's got a great voice, great teeth, right? I can never be him, right? So I'll come back. I owe a lot to Tony Robbins. He taught me a lot in this personal development, but I can never be him. So after about a week, 2 weeks, a month, my motivation goes back to what it was before. So what if I actually teach people, hopefully they listen to my story, because from the heart to the heart, they get inspired. Then I teach them very easy, copyable skills to become successful. And it really works. People who've come on my courses or listened to me on my events copied without any alternative motive, or they came in wholeheartedly, they're rich and successful because they copied everything I asked them to.
So they learned how they can succeed in their life based on the teachings that you've picked up throughout your experience.
As long as they're motivated, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're hungry. Because
that
without
leaves me-
hunger and desire, you're not going to do anything.
Exactly. So I want to know what motivates you.
Every single day, I think today could be my last day. Every single night, I say, pray to God, and I say, if this is my last night, let me go to bed in the right way. If I wake up in the morning, it's a bonus. So I never take anything for granted.
Yeah.
I'm always humbled and living in gratitude.
So life motivates you in a way.
Yeah, because it's a gift.
It's not for granted.
It's
and
a
I
gift.
think we don't realize that until
too late.
something happens to
Until
someone
it's too
else.
late. It's too late.
Yeah.
Even, when it happens to somebody else.
It's short term, oh my
Yes.
God, I have to appreciate my life. And then, you said, you get back to your standard. Testshield.ae are the fastest growing UAE domain and hosting provider. Exclusive only to FabDXP subscribers, benefit from 50% discount on their hosting services by using the promo code FabDXP. Just visit testshield.ae and you can elevate your online presence.